I think I can understand why Prince William would have been absolutely ropeable about that book, as South Park called it. What do they call it? Wow, wow.
Wow.
That's a much better name than Spare. We had all the tales there about the broken necklace, but I think what would have really got to Prince William was what was said about his wife in that book and the characterisation of her and Camilla. We'll talk about Camilla in a second. I thought he was absolutely vicious towards Camilla in that book, and I don't think he got enough grief for that, because that was just really quite ugly for a woman who appears to be the love of his dad's life to be treated in that manner now. We are also hearing reports about how King Charles himself intervened to keep Meghan away from Queen Elizabeth in her final days. And that plan ultimately had a devastating impact on Kate Middleton. Tell me about that.
So, well, we know that Prince Harry travelled up to Scotland to see his grandmother, and he arrived after she passed away. Meghan wasn't with him. And Charles had said to him, look, please don't bring Meghan. It's just going to be the children and the grandchildren. So Princess Kate, who was obviously very close to the Queen, essentially the understanding around the report is that she was asked to stay away so that if she stayed away, there was justification for Meghan to stay away from the ailing Queen for, fear of upsetting the Queen in that, obviously, that very fragile state. And look, you can appreciate how Kate is no doubt carrying this and perhaps has some resentment towards Meghan because of this, because she was very close to the Queen and no doubt, had circumstances been different, that she would have been able to be there. But there was this weird game of 3D chess going on. Just so that Harry didn't bring Meghan with him to Scotland. It's really quite sad when you think about it, Rita.
Absolutely. It's sad for the Queen as well as for Kate. I mean, for her not to be able to be there in those final moments there's a story to be told to Harry and to appease him, again, just shows you just why there's so much ill feeling in this family and why perhaps Prince William isn't ready to forgive and forget. And we talked about the coronation. We know that's going to be obviously huge for the King Charles, but also for Camilla. She's going to be crowned Queen. What kind of reaction do you think the public will have towards Queen Camilla? Because for a while there, she was called the most hated woman in Britain. But I think there is a great deal of warmth for her now, because she was almost also an innocent party in what happened. She didn't end up with the man she loved. She had to watch him marry somebody else. And in the end, they've ended up together.
Camilla has played the longest game. She talk about playing the long game, and she has done this exceptionally well. And look, when Charles and Camilla got married in 2005, it was like, oh, well, she's only ever going to be the Queen consort. And even when the Queen spoke about her succession planning in very recent years, Camilla was only going to be the Queen consort, which essentially means that she derives her, I suppose, position as Queen via her husband. She's not a separate monarch. She doesn't have her own political power. And so that there was a way of, I suppose, just smoothing things over. And obviously the Diana loyalists are still rather upset about this because they've got an equally long memory. But, Camilla has done the real hard yards, and she has supported her husband, and she has done a lot of work. She's looked after a lot of patronages. She has just got on with the duty of her role and position, and she's never been overly ambitious. She's just gotten along with it. I agree.
I think that's why she's loved. I think you're right. She's played the long game. She's been smart, and she's just been a good companion. Finally, let's just get a very quick response from you on Meghan. This has been called another example of her hypocrisy. The Duchess is apparently going to be making her Met Gala debut. Again, strange behaviour for someone who supposedly values their privacy and just wants to live a simple life.
Yeah, well, hypocrisy is probably the thing that Meghan is best at. This doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise anyone. This is a big Vogue event. We know that Anna Wintour has always tried to have as many celebrities either on the cover of magazines or at the Met Gala. I mean, that is what draws the attention to this event, and this doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, you wouldn't go and do an interview with Oprah. You wouldn't have a Netflix series. There wouldn't be books and podcasts and partridges in pear trees and all manner of other things if you wanted to live the quiet, simple, private life. So this, for me, is, well, pretty much on brand.